Hi everyone, it's Shish Kebab here, coming right back at you with another Boom Beach video. Now guys, today's video is going to be a little bit different format. It's not quite a 101 video because it's not intended to be comprehensive, but we're going to be talking about how to maximize your resources. This is primarily intended for max level players like myself. Now, as normal with these informative videos, there's a lot of ground to cover, so let's just get right into it. Let me get my notes over here. Okay, where to start? Well, basically, this is something I've really had to focus a lot on, and primarily just gold as I'm doing my VP push. And, oh, what happened here? Did I get raided? Oh, I defended. Well, I got raided and defended. Yeah, so you can see this is why maximizing resources is a very useful thing. Go ahead and just play this in the background while I'm talking, I guess. The first thing I wanted to get into was NPC bases. These are the computer-controlled bases. You should always clear these as soon as possible, guys, because this means more of them will spawn sooner. You don't gain any VP really. It's kind of a net. It's a zero-sum game. Every time they come in, you lose one VP, and then every time you kill it, you get one back. I think at earlier stages you might get 2 VP for killing them, but I think that stops after VP 600. But don't quote me on that. Anyway, the point here is about resources. The amount that spawn on your map are dictated by how many are currently on your map. So if you have a clear map, then I think you have roughly, it varies, but you have roughly a 16% chance for an NPC base to spawn every 19 minutes. So keeping them clear keeps that percentage of the chance for them to spawn higher, which means you'll get more loot from NPC bases in a day if you can just keep them clear. So you should always kill them as soon as possible. Now, that being said, I also want to mention that you really shouldn't bother with resource bases. I guess it depends on the resource base itself. All the ones on my map, pretty much, at least on the perimeter, the ones that actually have good resources, they're always being fought over by other players. So even if I get it, like, I'll only have it maybe for a few hours and someone else takes it back. The problem is I'm really more focused on gold. So I might lose a few troops going after that base, and I'm just gaining wood or stone or iron, stuff I don't really care about. There's also it's a zero sum on the VP as well, so there's no reason to do that. So I like to leave those alone, completely alone, with the exception of the supply chest. In fact, this is the whole other point. You should always get that supply chest as soon as it's available, guys. Now, it might be tempting to leave NPC bases up just for that, because it's very easy. You can either click destroy or you know, just raid them yourself, and as long as you have 5 of them up, you'll always get the supply chest. It's an alright strategy, but actually this is what I think the best use for resource bases is, because honestly, resource bases are very easy for me to take down as well. So if I want to get that supply chest and there's nothing else for me to kill, that's when I go after the resource bases. That's about the only time that I find they have a real positive value, at least for me. Yes, speaking of the supply chest, like it's very important that you get those. They're on a 20-hour cycle, so try to at least be getting one of those a day. I don't expect you to actually go super crazy and get them every 20 hours, but if you kind of do them, for me, I always do it in the morning. Like when I wake up, it's always when I'm going after my supply chest. So I get one of those a day, but stay on top of that, guys, because it's very good for the trader tickets and things like that. So let's see where to go. Let's talk about the sculptor now. The sculptor is, it's kind of an interesting thing. Now, this isn't exactly a resource like gold or wood or iron or stone, but, oh yeah, there we go. My base finally goes down. Sorry, I'm getting distracted here. Well, that's fine. I want to actually go take a look at my sculptor, so that works out perfectly. Okay. So the thing is, your sculptor should always be busy, by the way, guys. Always busy. Assuming you've got all the fragments and shards and crystals to keep him busy, but you should always keep him busy. Now, one thing, if you notice with how I've got all this stuff laid out, you'll see that I have a lot of fragments, okay? Now, there's a reason for this. The reason is because of the, what you call it here? Can't think. Achievement. Yeah, all the way back here. You see the Perfectionist achievement. Salvage 3,000 statues. Now, notice I'm at 28. Well, I can't really demonstrate because I'm sculpting right now, but the point is, if you were to convert these right here, you don't get credit for creating those statues. So it's important that if you're still going to work on that achievement, that you keep these over here, and from time to time I will create them when I need to make more shards to turn into a Guardian. I don't know if that makes sense. Hopefully that makes sense. But I'm only doing this. I'm only keeping the fragments because it's important that I still sculpt them. They only take 10 seconds in order to work on that achievement. Once that achievement's done, forget it, guys. I just convert those all the way. But I'm not like too gung-ho about the achievement, but that's the reason why they're there. Now, that's not really an important detail, just I thought I'd point it out. Guardians, you should always create. You know, you create Guardians by sculpting the life shard, or the shards, not necessarily life shards, but any type of shard, you can create a Guardian. Now, I like to always be creating Guardians when I'm online, when I'm awake, when I'm active, when I can get to the game. Every hour would be ideal because it only takes 1 hour to do it. But as long as you can get to the game once every 3 hours or something like that, I think it's a good idea to keep sculpting Guardians. And that way you'll always have a large supply of your crystals. Now, crystals should be used to create masterpieces, of course, and it's best to do that overnight or times you're at work or basically any time that you're going to be away from the game for a while. It's always good to have a supply of crystals on hand so that when you're going to be away from the game, you can set your sculptor to doing just that. Now, see, this afternoon I'm not going to be playing the game much. That's actually why I'm working on a masterpiece right now. So, that being said, it's also a good idea to choose the masterpieces that you want. Now, in other words, like, it's kind of ironic that I'm going after a green one right now. Am I really going after a green one? No, I'm not. That's just what we clicked on, right? Maybe I am. No, I am going after a green one. Well, generally speaking, like, you know, if you still want to have a higher gunboat energy or a higher troop damage, you should prioritize the color that you want, assuming you've got that available. So really, I should have been going after purple right now. I'm not even sure why I picked green. Reason for that is I have just never been able to get that 42% gunboat energy statue. It drives me nuts. You know, honestly, I think I might have got it one night, but I'm just so used to clicking delete or whatever, I think I might have deleted it. But I chose to forget that memory. I chose to forget that ever happened, but it might have happened, just to let you know. Let's see. Oh yeah, okay. So we've talked about this before. You might be well aware of it. Heck, you're probably well aware of most of this. But you see, I always log out with cryos, guys. Again, that's very important because they store more gold. They cost more gold. Like you see right now, I've got 502,000 gold available. Now, well, another comment here. It's also dictated by the vault, right? The vault protects, let me go back to the cryos in a second. The vault protects a certain amount of resources, okay? You should also always have a pretty maximized vault. Again, I'm assuming you're a max level player, so everything's maxed, but these messages are important for any type of player, really. The vault is a very important upgrade, probably number 4 or 5 on my upgrade list in terms of priorities, but that's a whole different topic. You see, actually, right now I've got up to 800,000 protected, so it honestly wouldn't even matter. But the point is let's say I switch it to Warriors. You see right now I've got about 500k gold available. If I go to Warriors and I load those up, there's going to be a lot more, probably like 800k or something. Almost 900, you see? And now at this point, 80,000 of that's not even protected by my vault. So it's like a secondary vault or a secondary bank. So you should always, always, always log out with cryos if you're really that concerned about gold. Let me tell you guys, at the high VP, when you're pushing like I am, gold is super important. It's super tight because where you get raided all the time, people steal your gold, and then you're also doing a lot of raiding. Sometimes you fail as well, and that costs gold. So gold is super, super precious. That's why I've been focusing a lot more right now on just maximizing resources, and that's my inspiration for this video today. Where was I on the list? Okay, so yeah, so don't acquire resources from events or op reward boats or resource boats unless you really need them. Now, what I mean is, like with the here we go, with the Operation Reward boat, I'm just letting it sit. Like right now, I could choose the 19 diamonds, which is probably what I'll take. But I've also got the option to take 1.6 million gold if I want. Now, we just started an operation a little bit ago. So I've got 21 hours before I need to make a decision on whether or not, on what I want to take. There's absolutely no reason whatsoever for me to choose anything right now. I don't need to, and all of this stuff is protected. So only take the stuff when you need it, okay? That's another important thing. Same thing with these little resource boats over here. Well, there used to be multiple boats. Now it kind of stinks because you can't choose the individual items. Like I had to just take them all. Like if they were still individual boats, what I would be doing is just taking gold and I would be leaving the rest of the stuff. But not really an option for me anymore. Thanks, Supercell, for making my life easier, I guess. Yeah, I was not a fan of the change. I do like the artwork, though, but I was not a fan of that change. I had no problem clicking 4 times. I'm not that lazy. What else, what else, what else? Yeah, so basically, unless you need the resources or if time is running out. So, events would be like, the same thing with the trader boat here. Like, I'm not even cashing in my trader tickets right now because I know she's going to give me some resources. I've still got 2 days and 4 hours. There's absolutely no hurry for me to do this right now. So I'm actually not going to do it. Same thing with Dr. T. Still got Dr. T on my map somewhere. Here he is. See, I haven't touched him yet. Now, I will kill him before the end of today, but I'm going to actually do it after the tribal reset. Today's a Sunday on the second week of the tribal reset, so we're going to do it after that. We're going to get into tribal cycles here in a moment, though, because there's a lot to be said about tribal cycles and how they affect resources and the economy in general. Okay, so that's that for this part of the topic. Rating. Let's talk about rating. Now, rating in general is, again, not a zero-sum game. What I mean is, like if someone raids my base, like that guy just did, okay? This guy over here, sorry, I'll use my other finger and I won't cover up the camera. You see the resources he took from me? Ha, he almost took no gold because I protect it, but he did take a heck of a lot of other stuff. I don't even really care about it. Now, that's what he took from me. Like, actually, that's what I lost. What he took is a totally different thing. What he took is based on when he scouted me. Whenever he scouted me and he got that snapshot, that's what he saw and that's what he took. It's quite possible that I had more gold on me at the time that he scouted my base. So he might have actually taken more gold than I lost, which is just a really interesting concept that means, again, it's not a zero-sum game. There are resources artificially created and destroyed all the time throughout this game. It just depends on when it was scouted versus when it was actually raided and what the differences in those resources are. Just keep that in mind. It's just interesting. Yeah, resource levels are, they're locked in on the first scouting. So the point here is the less time you spend having a lot of resources on hand, the better. And the less likely it is that someone will scout you and see a lot of loot. That's useful because it also means you're less likely to be raided when someone's farming for loot. When they're just looking to get loot off of you, you're much less likely to be raided. Right now I'm a super fat target, guys. You see all the wood. My wood was maxed earlier just because I got raided by this one guy. We'll go ahead and show this defense from another guy while I'm talking. I love those defenses. But yeah, you really want to get rid of your resources as much as possible. Obviously, as a max level player, you're not really saving for anything to construct, so you've only got one option. You've only got one option for your excess resources, and that's, of course, to convert them into the raw crystals. Now, raw crystals, I thought I had notes on raw crystals. Interesting. Did I skip over it? Give me 1 second, guys. Well, anyway, it doesn't matter. I can just talk about it. Raw crystals are always important to convert to immediately, like I said, because you don't want to have a lot of resources sitting around. Heck, you don't want to lose them, and those crystals become very important for your tribal boosts. Keep in mind, guys, the tribal cycles occur over a 2-week period. So, and I'm sure you're already familiar with how it works. The resource cost for each type of resource goes up by 500k every time you trade some in. So what that means is initially you're able to just dump a lot of resources right away and keep your total resource level very low. And that's great. It's very great from a defensive point of view because you're a lot less likely to be attacked when someone is just farming for loot. However, at the end of the cycle, guys, which we're at right now, the opposite is also true. Oh, I'm sorry, you can't see the attack. The opposite is also true. So that's why I've got a lot of loot. Now I'm really fat. It's interesting because I've got the option to boost my wood production because I didn't boost that. I boosted everything else. If I was to boost my wood production, I could dump some resources into replacing those life crystals that it takes to boost my wood production. But because we're only I'm not sure, at the time of this video, we're about maybe 3 or 4 hours out from the tribal reset. I don't care. I'm just going to wait for the tribal reset boost everything up that comes, except for the green one, because, you know, we hate green. Yeah, never use resource production. I kind of assumed that you already know that. Never use green statues. They're a waste. You just need to raid for your resources, guys. But that's a whole other topic. I assume you're already at that level with me. Yeah, always convert your excess resources into raw crystals right away. Like, even when you just raid somebody, like, go ahead and check. Make sure to see if you can convert, because who knows, you might get distracted, you might get a phone call, something might happen, and you're just sitting around with a lot of resources on hand when you could have gone to convert it. Convert all the time, always. Another little topic to mention, to talk about, I don't really do this anymore because I don't manage my map this way, but in the past, I used to let bases build up on my map. I would have almost a full map or a semi-full map, and then I would boost and clear. Now, in the process of letting your map fill up, I think once a base is on your map for more than 24 hours, don't quote me on that, but for a certain amount of time, you get the option to find a new player. I don't think people take advantage of this nearly enough. Now, finding a new player is super important because you can basically do this for two options. One is kind of obvious. If the player doesn't have very many resources, then by all means just find a new one, because the odds are he's going to have more resources. So when you're farming for resources and some guy's got like less than, say, I don't know, 100k of whatever it is you're trying to farm, which is usually gold for me, if he's got less than 100k or even 150, dude, I'll find another guy, because odds are I'm going to find more on the next guy. And so that's about gaining resources. This can also be used to help save resources, because maybe there's a guy on your map who's really tough. Now, you know you can beat him, but you're going to take a lot of losses, and those losses also cost you gold once again. Well, you know what? Don't worry about it. Like, just find another guy. If this guy's really tough, if he's like much harder than the average base is for your VP level, then the odds are the one you replace him with is going to be easier. Now, this doesn't always work, okay? It's a little bit of a gamble, right? But just play the odds. If the odds are in your favor, just play it that way every time. You're going to win more than you lose, and that's going to be good for you. So yeah, that's basically it. I think I covered it. Now, like I said, I wasn't trying to be comprehensive or anything with this. So yeah, we're just going to end it right there. But today is December 24th, Sunday, December 24th, and I hope everyone has a very Merry Christmas for those that celebrate it. For those that don't, well, you know, just enjoy the day, enjoy the time off, because odds are you do have the time off. And, well, at least if you're in an Occidental country. If you're at some other part of the world, they might not even celebrate it or care about it. But that being said, remember guys, December, which is quickly coming to an end, I think we've only got 7 days left, is Boom Beach Month. So share this game with a friend or family member, have them download it, play it, invite them to your task force, let them experience the same joy for the game that we have. As always, guys, thank you for watching me. I totally appreciate it. Have a great day, and be kind to others.